Good afternoon. It's Captain Chandler with your police department. I'm here with Richard Frankich, our administrative services manager, and we just wanted to provide a briefing to you on what your city is doing about the approaching winter storm. So both of us have heard from the Weather Service. We have then talked with our public works teams, our fire teams, and obviously we're coordinating our police response as well. And we just want to come to you and give you an update just to give you a peace of mind that your city, your police department, your fire department, and public works, we are prepared for this winter storm. And so let's just get into it. Rich is going to talk about what we are expecting tomorrow.
Yeah, for sure. So tomorrow it's going to be cold and we're going to get some winter precipitation for sure. So we're going to be under a winter weather advisory, all of the middle Tennessee counties, beginning at 4 a.m. going through 4 p.m. That's all this purple shaded area. So we can expect some winter weather for sure. And then going on to the next slide here, the predicted winter precipitation amounts. We're in the kind of the medium blue shaded area here for the immediate Mount Juliet area of the 2 to 3 inches, but we're bordering right there on that 3 to 4 inches. So it could be a little less, could be a little more, who knows? So be weather aware, folks, when it starts coming.
That's interesting too. And Rich, speaking with the Weather Service, they're like, don't look at these maps and think that's exactly what's going to happen. These are just forecast models. And they're even talking about how it could potentially be even higher amounts in our area too. We really just don't know. We know that snow is headed this way. And this kind of gives us an idea of what it could look like once it starts tomorrow morning. And Rich, you have those times, right?
I do. They're estimating for our immediate areas sometime arrival time between 7 and 10 a.m. for the front to get here. So it's going to start early, and once it starts, it's going to go most of the day into the evening. And they're even saying for Friday, we need to be prepared because come Friday, it's going to be cold all day long Friday, which could cause some travel issues for Friday. Because once that precipitation's on the ground from Thursday, it's generally not going to go anywhere because, a lot of times it'll hit the ground, might melt off during the day, make the roads a little better. This is going to be more than likely about a 2-day event. So we need to be careful going overnight Thursday into Friday.
Yeah, absolutely. And, one thing, Rich, I've worked here for 17 years. You've been here, what, 12, 13, almost 10. And normally when we see high impact incidents for our community is when the snow and the roads change conditions like midday. Because we still have people out and about, and then they're trying to get home. And when they're trying to get home is when they can't get home because maybe their neighborhood has a large hill or there's a curve and their vehicle just can't traverse the slick roadways. One thing that's concerning us too is we could have a layer of ice beforehand because, just south of us, they're expecting a little bit of freezing rain. And if that goes a little bit north, we'll have a little bit of that. But generally they're thinking snow. But when this transition is probably going to happen for us, around 8 a.m., 9 a.m., 10 a.m., we're worried as a police department that folks will probably already go to work, and then roads will get bad, or they'll start to get bad, and then they'll try to get home and they get stuck in it. And that's when we have those high impact events where we have a lot of incidents related to crashes or stalled vehicles, and our staff is out responding to those different incidents. And that's why we as a police department prepare for this type of incident. So with us, we will have additional police officers on standby, ready to respond to the city once we know it's going to be a high impact event. We've done staffing assessments to be sure that we have adequate staffing throughout the day tomorrow and also into Friday as well, since that cold is going to stick around. The road conditions may stick around too. Good thing is all of our patrol vehicles have the all-wheel drive, and all-wheel drive works very well for us in the snow than our previous Crown Vics or Dodge Chargers used to, because they're those rear wheel drive vehicles and they never do well in the snow. So we're grateful for those SUVs with the all-wheel drive. And we also canceled juvenile court for Thursday. We actually made that decision yesterday, and our records teams have been calling the different juveniles and their parents affected with court, and everyone has been rescheduled. But again, we canceled juvenile court tomorrow evening as well, because we just don't want people on the roadway when we expect to have hazardous roadways. Speaking with our fire department, their volunteer firefighters are on standby again to help increase staff levels, and their crews have vehicles that can access the difficult areas, full-wheel drive, different things like that. And they're going to place more personnel and staff those additional response vehicles to be able to get to different places that could be difficult. The snow we had in February of 2021, I remember seeing an ambulance sliding down a hill, and they had a difficult time to get to a place. So the fire department showed up in a four-wheel drive vehicle, and they went to the home and helped the person out and got them to the ambulance so the ambulance could then get to the hospital. And our public works teams, man, they've done amazing work already related to this storm. They've been out brining our city roadways, which is something we haven't really seen before to this scale. They've really ramped up their snow response efforts and put a lot of investment in that. So they've been out pre-treating a lot of our roadways. You'll notice roads that you've never seen pre-treated before. They now have the pre-treatment on it, which will be helpful. And they're out brining those roads. They have 6 salt and brine snow trucks that will be active, in addition to any other equipment that's necessary. And those snow trucks will be distributed in 4 different zones throughout our community to ensure that all the different roadways are targeted. And the way they prioritize that is, first, they're going to the roadways that our police officers and firefighters are relaying to them that are dangerous, that could affect response to a call in those difficult areas. And then they start to hit the major thoroughfares, the major entrance and exits to neighborhoods. And then after that's all covered, then they'll try to get the individual neighborhood streets. But of course, priority is ensuring that the roadways are clear for emergency response. So, your cul-de-sac deep in the neighborhood is likely not going to get snow plowed anytime soon in the event, because they're focused on those major roadways, those larger roadways that have more vehicular traffic, the roads that our police, firefighters, and ambulances need to travel down to ensure they can get to people that need help. Because regardless of the snow and ice and hazardous roadways, it doesn't stop life, right? And there's still incidents that occur that our first responders still need to respond to. And it really is just ensuring that emergency services have access to everyone in our community. And if the conditions do deteriorate, if it is a high impact event, crews will begin to salt and clear the snow. So you'll see them out there doing their thing as they're out and about. And what we want to remind you is, please do not crowd that snow plow. This is an image from the February 2021 impact event that we had, and we had to put police officers with the plows because motorists wanted to pass the plow vehicles, and those motorists were out driving vehicles that were obviously capable of driving in the snow, like four-wheel drive or the Jeeps or whatever it may be. And when they pass the plow, it makes it very dangerous for that plow operator, and they can't do their job as effectively. So if you see a plow out there working, you want to stay behind that plow. Do not pass it. Do not crowd it, because it really creates a dangerous situation. And our police officers, we really need to be out patrolling and responding to calls, not protecting snow plows. And if you can, just please stay behind those plows. Don't try to pass them. It'll be much easier for all of us. And of course, our police officers won't have to escort them through town. Just be mindful of that. Just some winter safety tips here. And Rich, it, typically the bridges freeze first. Do you want to kind of talk about why that occurs first, those bridges and overpasses?
Yeah, for sure. And this is actually a great graphic for that. And it's very simple. And like it says on that first bullet point there, generally speaking, anything that does not have ground underneath it, bridges, overpasses, large drainage tunnels, for example, anything with no ground underneath it to provide that insulation, those items, roadways, overpasses, things like that, are going to freeze quicker. So the roadways leading up to those bridges and overpasses may seem clear and passable, but be very slow and cautious on those bridges and overpasses, because they're going to freeze first. Yeah. The freezing on those bridges and overpasses can be extremely patchy and never a really clean, even freezing. So you may have little patches of good traction and not. So like it says there, the freezing isn't all uniform. Because of the bridges, they may provide shading in certain spots and let the sun hit it in other spots. And always go slow before you get on those bridges, because if you have too much momentum going over that bridge and you do hit an icy spot, you could cause a spin out for yourself. You could slide into someone else on the bridge. It could be a very bad thing.
Yeah. And with any winter driving, especially when roadways are hazardous, here's some tips here on the screen. You want to obviously change the way you drive. You can't go 70 miles per hour on the interstate when there's ice and snow on the interstate. You want to drive slower than normal and leave plenty of room between you and the other vehicles that are out there. You also want to anticipate if you need to stop and you're going to slide, maybe start to stop further back than you normally would at stop signs or hills or wherever it may be. You don't want to use cruise control. Don't use that. You don't want to brake quickly or take those sharp turns. And you definitely want to stay alert when you're out there. Have plenty of gas in your vehicle in case you get stranded. And, you see the stuff out of Virginia about all these different people stranded on the interstate. They had, there were coal. I think some deaths occurred, which is just awful. But you just got to be prepared for that. I don't see that being a big issue in our community because we have a plan to respond to an interstate closure where folks are stranded with our police and fire department, and we're going to get out there to you to help people. But you just never know where you may be when that roadway is blocked and you're stuck on the interstate. And just keep an eye on the different conditions that are out there. Obviously, another reminder, do not crowd that plow and give them plenty of room to work. They're out there working for us, trying to get those roads clear. And 70% of snow and ice related injuries occur in automobiles. So if there's ice and snow, you want to definitely take it snow. And if you have not already signed up for our MJ Alert, we will keep you updated throughout the event on our text alert system. All you have to do is text the letters MJ to 67283 to be registered for MJ Alert. But folks, if it snows, we're going to have a good time too. And we want you to be safe when you have a good time. Our officers like to get out, interact with the community, sled, meet residents that are out and about enjoying the weather. Just be sure that everyone is sledding safely. We have seen some injuries from sledding. I remember one time I responded to a call where an 8-year-old was sledding down a steep hill in a neighborhood, and he went off the roadway and struck a mailbox, sheared the mailbox post in half, and the child had to be transported to the hospital for injuries related to that. So anytime anything's moving very quickly and there is a person on that thing moving quickly, there is a potential for a hazardous impact into something. So just be mindful of that. If you're going to sled on a hill, nice open area, walk that hill, walk the sledding path to be sure there's no dangers under the snow, such as some metal poles that may be sticking up or some large sticks or rocks in that area. And just know too, if you're sledding on roadways, vehicles are also traveling on those roadways, and neither the sledder nor the person operating the vehicle can make any evasive movements to avoid a collision in those environments because the roads are just slick. So be careful out there, but our officers will be out there with you. They're here to serve our community. They're going to work some long hours tomorrow and likely into Friday. So just be aware of that. But we're here for you. And if there's anything you need, we want you to reach out to us. Call our dispatch center. Let us know if there's anything we can help you with. Or if you see anything that's unsafe, please reach out to us. There's many more community members out there than our police officers. And it's so helpful when we get a tip or a call from a community member about something happening that we can go out and investigate to make it safer for everyone out that way. But hopefully we'll have a good time. And hopefully we'll see plenty of things that you see on your screen with our officers out enjoying everything. But anyway, Rich and I are here for any questions that you have, any live update that we do. We'd like to take questions from our community. If you have anything, type that in the comments. We can read those comments and then answer them for you. But I see a lot of supportive stuff, which is always nice to see, stuff like Jennifer here, thanking us for all of our hard work and keeping everyone safe. From Donna, good afternoon. Thanks for the update. And here's Marquetta here just saying that going to stay home and binge watch something, not going to add any unnecessary driving. And Karen just wishing our officers safety. And we really appreciate all of that. A question here from Carol about, is Old Lebanon Dirt Road and Central Pike going to be salted? So Carol, Old Lebanon Dirt Road is a city road, and we're going to take care of that. It's already been brined by our public works teams. Central Pike is a state roadway, so that'll primarily be TDOT. But if we notice an issue where it's not getting attention, then our city crews will supplement on state roadways. So Lebanon Road, Mount Juliet Road, Central Pike, the interstate, they are all state roadways that are handled by TDOT in our area. Now, if they need attention, our city public works crews will supplement and provide attention to those roadways as well. Going into this winter storm, our public works crews have invested so much into the safety of their operation and more equipment, more trucks, more staff to truly tackle these hazards as they come in. And we're just a blessed community where the support from our elected body, our city leadership, our public works leadership has truly morphed this snow response program into a good, adequate plan. So you'll see a lot of that out and about, and they'll get to use a lot of their new equipment during this snow event. Let's see what else we got. Yeah, Liz has a question here. Can we call like last year if we see dangerous sledding? And yeah, and if you see anything dangerous out there, we want you to call us. We don't want anyone to get hurt. A lot of times we can respond to something and just give good advice that it's not safe to do that. And most people will listen to our officers and they'll quit doing that dangerous thing, whatever it may be. But we just want everyone to be safe. We want everyone to, again, to have a good time, enjoy it out there with your family. It'll probably be some good sledding. At least I hope it will be. And hopefully the roads won't be too bad. But if they are, we got teams ready to respond. Again, we're all staffed up for this event. We got a plan in place for this event. Our officers and emergency crews across the city will be working long hours tomorrow and into Friday, but we're prepared for that. That's why we are here. Again, is to make everything just better for our community. Another question from Candace: when is the bad weather supposed to start? And Candace, the time range that we have from the Weather Service is 7 a.m. To 10 a.m. for our county, our area. But again, they're always updating that as they get new forecast models in. And if you follow the National Weather Service Nashville on Facebook, they do an amazing job about putting information out for our community, and they're always keeping us updated through those means. We get weather briefings by email. We have a connection through this system called National Weather Service Chat that we stay aware of what's happening, but they put just as much stuff on their Facebook for our community. And so go check out their Facebook, National Weather Service Nashville, and they'll really keep us aware of what's happening out this way. All right, folks, thank you so much. I hope everyone has a wonderful evening, and tomorrow, please be safe. If you can work from home, you may just want to consider working from home, because if you leave tomorrow early in the morning, everything may be fine, but then that winter weather will move in, and we just want you to be able to get home safe. And if it's already hit, if there's bad roads on your way home, it'll be a lot harder for you to get home tomorrow. Schools are closed too. A lot of schools in the area are taking that extra caution and just closing early too, because they know they don't want kids going to school and then being at school and then now having to get home in the bad weather. But folks, if you need anything, we're here for you. Like always, it's an honor and privilege to serve this community. And we just want everyone to be safe. Have a good evening and be safe tomorrow. Take care.